Hello viewers and welcome to a brand new episode of Trashtalk on Heavy Gear 4th edition, a series where I talk about the various gears and vehicles you can pilot and drive around in the Heavy Gear universe. In this episode, I will be talking about the Caprice mount. Caprice is the first exoplanet colonized by the human concordant at the early stage of humanity rush towards the star. The Loki system, where Caprice resides, is a system full of potential 10 Hauser gates, making Caprice an important stepping stone and a core network to the entire gate network. Yet, despite it leading humanity to many habitable worlds, Caprice itself is anything but habitable. For the most part, the surface is not that much different than the surface of Mars, an inhospitable landscape, but the planet is also covered in deep canyon, gashes large enough to be seen from space, and one such massive trench is deep enough to contain atmosphere thick enough for human habitation without environmental protection. The place is called the Cat Eyes Trench, and within the trench is the city of Gomorrha, the lifeblood of the planet. Caprice is also cyberpunk as hell. The one major city on the planet is ruled over by corporations, who sometimes convert their most loyal worker into murder cyborgs. There's also nomads called liberati that have been fighting for better working conditions and freedom for centuries. Hell, one of the first person you met upon infiltrating the city of Gomorrha in Heavy Gear 2 is a Hollywood hacker.
Greetings, Talon Leader. Welcome to Gomorrha, ass crack of the universe. You can call me Dragon.
I'm sorry, what the fuck did you just say? It has been about 50 years since the Ceph has arrived, occupying the system, patrolling both the surface and space around the planet. The planet cannot resist the Ceph at first, as the Ceph could wipe out most of the planet population in one single orbital barrage. Now, with Caprice fully embedded into the Ceph's network of logistic to fuel their military expansion, there's more ways to damage it from within than ever. The Liberati and some of the more pro-liberation corporations began to work something out with their off-world allies, but they will have to work quietly, silently, for the Ceph will heavily punish any obvious transgression. So let's talk about these mount things which you can get if you play as someone from Caprice. As the series continues to talk about the invader factions, you might have noticed that these factions are always way better than the Terra Novan factions in one aspect. The Ceph has their unlimited energy weapons work and also being stupidly fast, and all Caprice's mounts are far better than Terra Novan's gears in terms of fighting over terrible environment. Terra Novan's gears are made to fight over the massive harsh desert of the Badland. Caprice's mounts are made to fight while climbing bloody vertical cliff face in an almost vacuum environment. Almost every single one of Caprice's mounts have climbing gear to climb straight up wall, hostile environmental kit to protect from the environment, meaning the white sand that plagued the Badland does nothing to this thing, and worse of all, stabilizer. Stabilizer is an equipment that basically give one extra dice to a specific weapon, making it more accurate, representing that the mounts have 4 or more legs, making them a more stable firing platform. This is very funny to me, as it means that there's an entire faction that can shoot better than everyone else because they like spider tank more. Unfortunately, all these legs comes at the cost of not having wheels, for the most part, so a Caprice's mount is generally slower than a gear. Don't get me wrong, if the terrain is god awful, a mount will catch up, but in a slightly more open flat ground, a gear will run circle around a mount. They also have no hand, because they have all the legs. Remember, this might not be a problem in a war game, but it's sure as hell going to be a problem in a role-playing game where you might do stuff outside of combat. The Caprice mounts are also counted as a strider. There really isn't any special rule, it's just for categorization. Anyway, let's go down the priority list, starting with priority level 1, which will give you access to Acco, F-32 Maru, and Hamath. Acco is basically the Caprice equivalent of Hunter, the most basic of the mount. Its stat is even almost the same armor, hull integrity, speed, just without will for extra mobility. Even the weapon is almost of the same grade, a light autocannon, light rocket pack, and then a light spike gun for melee and medium machine gun for anti-infantry. It can also climb up vertical wall, survive hostile environment, and can shoot more accurately 2 for 1 weapon. You can almost expect a mount to appear in place you won't expect with this kind of mobility. It also has an early warning system, just to give it a slight edge in dodging incoming fire. It has 3 more variants, a close range one with frag cannon, rifle for long range, and a higher priority level one with medium flamer. All in all, a respectable workhorse. The F-32 Maru is kinda like the Caprice equivalent of ASP, something not exactly made for direct combat with actual military force, but against paramilitary force or even just rioting civilian. A Caprice's pad labor basically, if the standard police procedure involves throwing nerve gas against rioter, of which the only saving grace is that the effect only lasts for 24 hours. With this role in mind, The Maru is slightly faster while having less armor than the Acco, and don't have a rocket pack to keep collateral damage down. With only light frag and APGL to deal with infantry or civilians, its main weapon can be a light SMG, snub cannon, or rifle, and interestingly, it also has a medium pistol as backup weapon, just in case you need to shoot a heavy target up close. Oh, and despite this thing having hands, it is still designed to climb straight up. This is because Gomorrah is a city that's built really tall to use every square inch of the habitable space. A police can't work if they can't go vertically too, but having actual hand does take away the stabilizer trait. The Hamath is an APC mount, used by Caprice to transport infantry over even the harshest terrain. Being a transport, it's lightly armed but only relatively, having a light rotary cannon to deter lightweight walker and a machine gun for anti-infantry. It has a command variant with ECCM suite, an engineer variant with repair array to repair things on field, and somehow, a medical transport variant. I don't want to know what kind of horror house engineering they made inside to keep the patients safe when this thing is climbing up a wall. At priority level 2, you get access to F-55 Zikru. The F-55 Zikru is the bigger brother of the Maru. Well, I said bigger brother, but the Zikru is basically just a Maru but slower and has a bigger fist. This thing just looks huge. It's actually very light. Its more important feature is having a recon sensor, and also can be upgraded for commander or e-warfare role, making it a decent e-warfare platform. At priority level 3, you get the Bashan. The Bashan is a recon platform shoved with all sort of e-warfare gears, ECM, ECCM, target designator, anything you can think of, the Bashan can do it. Strangely, it's also both faster and tougher than anything else before it, and with Brawler 1, this recon platform can certainly recon someone through the cockpit with its legs. It also has a variant with advanced ECM, just to get even more protection. However, it's still ultimately a recon frame, as it is quite lightly armed with only a medium autocannon to hurt a vehicle with, and it's not even a good shot with negative gunnery. Also, it's a pain to maintain, so that can be a problem on long patrol. It does, however, have a quick response system, and some e-warfare action can be used as in reaction, which means this thing can do the job of possibly 2 e-warfare specialists at once. It's just that powerful. At priority level 4, there's the F-112 Rabbu. The Rabbu is the only Caprice walker with wheels, which means it's also the only Caprice walker that can't climb up a wall. However, it is pretty damn fast, and with +1 piloting and Brawler 1, it can get right up someone's face and melee them quite well. Its armament is for the most part the same as the Maru, except it has bigger guns, medium autocannon, heavy SMG or heavy rifle, with stabilizer to further boost the damage and accuracy of these weapons too, can also be upgraded for commander. At priority level 5, we finally have more than one things per level, as you can get Annab, Aphek, or F-27 Sarru. The Annab is an artillery mount, as you can see from the giant gun mounted on top of it. It's a tough as nail mount that can carry either a light field gun with counter battery system, or linked medium artillery rocket to bombard the hell out of people with. Both variants are also equipped with quick response system and stabilizer, so this thing can really deliver artillery quickly and accurately. That said, if things get too close, it's kinda in trouble, as its only real close range gun is just a light SMG. Better not get too close. The Aphek is basically the Caprice equivalent of the Jaguar. It doesn't excel at anything, and that's fine. It's decently fast, tough, can do melee well with Brawler 1, quick response system to react fire, as well as having ECM suite and target designator if the situation calls for it. It's armed with a medium rotary cannon, light rocket pack, and heavy machine gun for its base variant, and it can either replace the cannon with another rocket pack for unlimited rocket, or switching out the rocket pack for anti-tank package, and can also be upgraded with a light guided mortar that can shoot even backward. It is simply a very decent ride for competent pilot. The F-27 Sarru is the heaviest of the Caprice humanoid walkers, tough as nail, and is actually loaded with weapons. In its hands are heavy grade weapon, whether that's heavy autocannon, rotary cannon, or a light railgun. Anything that gets too close will have to deal with its heavy rocket hammer, and with Brawler 2, that will hit quite hard. And on top of all that, it has linked light anti-tank missile launcher for a massive barrage of ATM, which can be replaced with linked light artillery rocket to bombard a location instead. All in all, if you want maximum collateral damage, this is it. At priority level 6, we are back to just one unit with the Kadesh. The Kadesh is basically a slightly heavier version of the Aphek, just with more armor, and has jetpack to jump over buildings, providing even more mobility to the mount. Other than that, nothing notable, besides having a variant that fire unlimited medium rocket salvos, or medium particle cannon, which can be real painful for some heavy vehicles. At priority level 7, you can get the Baalim or Meggido. This is also the point where the mounts get a lot heavier and start to have more similarity with heavier walkers like the Naga. The Baalim is basically just a walking MRLS platform. Somehow this thing has a walking speed of 7, heavily armored with 10 armor, and also comes with either 2 heavy artillery rocket, or 2 heavy air burst missile launchers, and also a big damn foot to kick the hell out of anything that gets too close. The Meggido is instead something that's much more lethal at close range. This thing is the Caprice's equivalent of Kodiak or King Cobra, a tough-as-nail unit with advanced control system to shoot all its onboard firepower better, and it has a lot of firepower. The base variant has a heavy rotary cannon, medium grenade launcher, plus heavy machine gun for anti-infantry or even light gears, and heavy spike gun with brawler for a painful stomp. The grenade launcher is switched into a light anti-tank missile for other variants, and the rotary cannon can be switched into either a medium laser cannon or self-reloading medium rocket pack 2, giving the Meggido plenty of firepower for any situations. Worst of all, this thing also has a jetpack, meaning this 10-ton killing machine is also a jumping spider. At priority level 8, you will find the Ammon. The Ammon makes the Baalim look small. It's slow, but with 11 armor, it can easily take all the hits. Other than its support weapons, its twin main guns can be consisted of either guided self-loading heavy rocket pack, medium railguns, or medium anti-tank missiles. Add in advanced control system and stabilizer. This thing is a goddamn monster, and it can call in fire support on its own with a target designator too. Finally, at the last priority level, level 9, there's the Mua. The Mua, despite how much the TDS is failing at properly spelling its name, is an even more terrifying beast than the Ammon despite weighing the same. Where the Ammon is slower and tougher, the Mo can keep up with most other units with its speed and has a wider selection of guns, heavy laser cannons, medium particle cannons, heavy rotary lasers. Those are lethal weapons on this thing, especially since it still has advanced control system. The Mua can also actually be upgraded into a commander vehicle, and with good E-warfare stat, the driver can mess up enemy systems or designate targets for artillery with ease. Also, it has 10 free points for the player crew to customize with, which can easily elevate the danger level of this vehicle to an insane degree. And that's basically it on the Caprice's mount, a class of vehicles fit to fight over the inhospitable surfaces and trenches of Caprice, and just about anywhere else too. Next episode, we gonna be talking about Utopia. Also, this is fucking adorable. That's all for now, and I will see you all next time. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe and click that notification bell button. If you want to see the videos early as well as further support my channel, you can join in my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.